The Sacramento Kings making a bit of a splash here on the 4th of July. They have just signed George Hill to a 3-year, $57 million deal. We know the Lakers have been interested in George Hill, and I just got said in my ear, Zach Randolph also to the Kings.
Wow.
What do we make, just first blush, George Hill and Zach Randolph going to Sacramento?
Well, the Kings have been devoid of NBA talent. They trade away DeMarcus Cousins. They've got $50 million in cap room roughly to spend. And the real question for them is, could they get anybody to come? Because they could get in this scenario where they make offers, restricted free agent offers like to Otto Porter.
Right.
But here in this particular case, they go to two proven players and get them. So at least they have George Hill as a rock to build around. Nice payday for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you add Zebo at the end of his run to at least be a dependable play every night sort of big. And their real future, though, is in their youth and in developing something to be excited about going forward.
Yeah, but I think this is just, key moves now, because once again, if nobody wants to come there, then it really doesn't matter. They have to start at the bottom and build a foundation now. Now that they don't have DeMarcus Cousins, which I think was the big holdup, now they can start laying this foundation of, okay, let's get some solid veterans in. Let's get some young guys in, get a good mixture going. We'll continue to add pieces and see if we can be competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know how competitive they'll be this year, but at least they have some young pieces. They did well in the draft. They have a couple vets now. Now they can start building.
They're going to have to spend up to the league minimum. So the cap is at about $100 million, $99 million. Every team has to spend at least 90% of that. So they're going to have to give $90 million roughly to somebody.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, you get a core guy like George Hill, who's high character, who's willing to go there and help build that for the future. It's a nice addition because it's hard to get a player like Hill to go to a place that's in a build mode as opposed to go chase the playoffs, enjoy yourself, have a satisfactory next 3 years. Well, that $57 million will help make it more satisfactory, I guess.
Exactly.
But there's no question they're going to take a pounding in the Western Conference.
Same thing with Zach. You would think he would want to go somewhere too, and try to be in a winning situation. But I think veterans now are starting to realize that there's a lot of value. You can sit back at the end of that bench.
There's a lot of value in money, I think, is what we're finding out here.
And not just 1 or 2 years now. These guys can sit there for a while, help these guys. We saw Kevin Garnett do it in Minnesota. Yeah. You can help stick around, and they'll pay you a little bit more as you go. But I think there's tremendous value of having those two guys on your team.
What does this mean for the Otto Porter deal? Does it mean anything?
Is it still possible?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's still possible, I would think. I don't have the. Can we go over to the cap machine and figure it out? But my mental cap machine in my head, I think they'd still have enough to make that maximum offer.
Okay.
I would expect it to be accepted. The other thing I had heard was that Otto Porter had multiple suitors, and it wasn't a lock that he was even going to accept the Kings' offer. Maybe he will now because there's some veterans to go with him. I don't know. We'll find that out in short order.
Okay.
$100 million, you don't need veterans. You just need to back the truck up to the bank, keep it moving.
The Kings are finding a way to spend a little bit of this money. Again, George Hill and Zach Randolph heading to Sacramento.